So me and my wife have been watching The Chosen recently, and in one of the episodes we just watched, they sang a Dayenu. And this is something I never heard of. I'm not Jewish and I don't observe Passover, so it's something I never heard of. But it's a beautiful song that they sing that basically means it would have been enough or it would have been sufficient. And I thought this was beautiful because it's a song they sing at the Seder meal, the night before Passover, or the night of Passover, rather, sorry. And they sing this to remember all the miracles that God performed, leading the Israelites out of Egypt, leading them out of captivity and slavery. And it goes along the lines of like, if God had led them out of Egypt, it would have been enough. And if God had led them out of Egypt and just parted the Red Sea, it would have been enough. And if God didn't, it goes along the lines of basically mentioning all the miracles that were performed when the Israelites were led out of Egypt into the wilderness and then into the promised land, and just basically saying that it would have been enough if it had ended there. And I think this is beautiful, and that if we look at this in our own lives, we realize how grateful we should be. We realize how much God has done for us in our lives, and we can just think about, like, if we want to say our own Dayenu or Dayenu, however you pronounce it, that if Jesus had died on the cross for us and resurrected, it would have been enough. And if he didn't send the Holy Spirit into our lives, it would have been enough. And if we just go down the long list of all the joy, all the comfort, all the peace that God gives us, all the things he does for us, the fact that most of us, and I'd assume anyone who's watching this video, has a roof over their heads, they have food to eat, we have beds, we have so much to be grateful for, and we can sometimes lose sight of that in a world where we always want more. We always want more money, we always want more things, we always want to be a little more comfortable, a little more rich, and so much to sometimes just take a moment and maybe think about the words of that song and think about, it would have been enough if God had just done one or two things in our lives, all the things that he's done in our lives that we can just really be grateful for, that it would have been enough if it had ended there. But God still is in our lives. God still looks out for us. He still gives us peace. He still gives us comfort. He still gives us joy. And he still wants us to live long, prosperous lives. And that no matter what happens, it would have been enough if God had just ended all the blessings he's given you back when you got saved and believing in him. So I just thought this was a beautiful message. It really touched me, hearing how grateful the Israelites were for everything God had done for them, and how it would have been enough if the blessing had ended long before it actually did. And I just think this is something we should all do in our lives. Just look at everything we have, everything God has given us, and really practice gratitude. But until tomorrow, God bless.